Welcome back to House of the Empire. Little bonus treat tonight, thanks to a plethora of software issues affecting multiple channels. Kenobi Episode 1, our commentary for it, will be right here, live on YouTube tonight. So whether you're watching live or you're watching after the fact, whether you've seen this series before or you haven't seen this series before, we get to experience it again. I have fond memories of when Johnny and I covered this, more so the review shows than the actual instant quick review after it aired, since they were at obscene times. But we're here. Uh, I'm intrigued to see how I'm going to feel, because the cheap looking production at times is going to kill me. It just is. There's no reason to have that at this point in time, but. I'm going to be really trying to feel out the story here a bit. I've only seen it a couple of times, and I'm looking forward to it. Randy, what are your expectations heading into this, man?
So I feel like the expectations this time is to kind of pick up on some things that I may have missed for the first watch through. Now that I've got like the whole, I wouldn't say shock, but just kind of the taste of Rupert Friend as the Grand Inquisitor out of my mouth from the first watch through I did. Maybe I can enjoy the character a little bit more, because every time I saw him on screen, I'm like, oh, God, this could have been Jason Isaacs. The voice could have been there. Why didn't you just give him the role? And maybe he was busy. Maybe he was busy doing something else, filming something else, and they couldn't get him. But I digress. That's my biggest gripe, in at least terms of characters. I'm kind of hoping that the story itself still kind of speaks to me like it did the first go through, and that I just kind of try to enjoy it as much as I did before, without being as nitpicky as I probably could be, since it is a second watch through.
Johnny, how about you?
I am thankful to not be watching this at 3:00 in the morning.
I can only imagine how those reviews went. Welcome to the review. Oh, well, sorry, I fell asleep a second there. That I can.
You
only
are not
imagine.
far off of the truth, Randy. They are in the catalog here on the channel. Dig them up. They are.
I know one of them I literally had to leave for work as soon as we were done.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
I think that might have been the premiere. I think.
No, it wasn't the premiere. They debuted the first 2 episodes, and they ended up coming out a little early.
Well, I thought we had tech issues with the first week, and that's why it went so late.
No. We watched.
I meant on the Disney side, like they didn't release on time. One of the episodes that happened to, didn't it?
It wasn't the premiere. I'll tell you that much.
It might have been the regular time premiere then.
So, let's dive into this, though. We got Obi Wan Kenobi. We're starting at the 4-minute and 30-second mark. Look, my favorite character in Star Wars. I think Ewan is. I need to rewatch it to know for sure, but I'm pretty sure we were talking about how, the show leaves something to be desired at times, but that his performance, yet again, was probably worthy of an Emmy. And let's dive into it here. We'll go on go. We're at 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Star Wars Obi Wan Kenobi, season 1, maybe the only season. We'll see. I doubt it at this point. Episode 1, part 1. Here we go in 3, 2, 1, play.
It always bugged me they never had better plans in the temple for an incursion. Like, I get they never expected the clones to turn on them, but like they had to expect the droids to show up at some point.
Yeah, I think preparing for the clones and droids are two different beasts, and I mean, in fairness, some of them probably did. We know for a fact some of them escaped the temple. Grogu escapes the temple with I forget the character's name, but
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he's played by
Ahmed Best.
That's it. Thank you.
But I mean, Cal Kestis escaped. Kanan, Caleb Doom escaped. So we know that younglings escaped.
Well, I mean, Caleb didn't escape from the temple, though.
Well, he escaped in general. But
yes,
you're right.
He was in the field, right? They were on.
Felucia? They showed that. They showed that in Bad Batch. Yep.
The people in the temple were pretty fucked. Like a couple obviously made it out.
Well, especially when Anakin showed up.
Oh, for sure.
So was that choreography there for blaster bolt deflection a little bit more to your liking compared to Ahsoka?
It's miles better than Ahsoka. What we see in there, not even close.
Well, that's Jedi at the height of their game, whereas we don't see Jedi like that in really ever when you think about it.
Right, but Ahsoka shouldn't look like a complete fucking useless tool.
I agree.
Now, I want everyone to perform an exercise here. Try to look past the fact his head's too small. There's more to the rule than that.
Rewatching it now, and all I can think is, oh my God, he looks like Bill Hader. I feel like I'm watching a Saturday Night Live sketch. Which, if this had been a movie, he definitely would have.
I think part of my issue with this was more like the presence and the voice, like the way he acted. But obviously, this is before Star Wars Rebels. So obviously there's probably some character development through that. And maybe that's why he was so absolutely amazingly badass in Rebels. And we get this right now.
And probably a little torture from Vader.
Yeah, that too.
You're not very good at it. No shit.
All I can think about is the Dick from Happy Gilmore 2. Now, when I see him,
He does look like Benny Safdie.
he is Benny Safdie.
Is it?
Sure is.
Well, that would explain it then.
By the way, I had an inkling of remembering the Jedi that saved Grogu, and I just confirmed that it's Kelleran Beck.
Nice. Nice. I gotta say, I know it's not Jason Isaacs, but that opening monologue there by Rupert Friend was incredibly well done.
I agree. I think at the time, like I said, because of my love for the Rebels series, it was hard for me to get past the fact that it wasn't Jason Isaacs, but you're right. It was definitely well delivered for sure. And Reva with a decision there, just be like, I'm going to be impatient and just draw the Jedi out.
If memory serves, this I think would have been filming around the same time he was doing the network drama for NBC. I think the medical drama with Sophia Bush. I think.
Okay.
Was it around the same time as this?
No, then it would make sense if they tried to get him, but he was just not available.
I could be entirely wrong on those timelines, but I feel like it was around the same time.
I will say one of the things I really did enjoy about the series is Obi-Wan starting out almost as if he's just broken because of everything that transpired in Revenge of the Sith and leading up to this point in his life. It was, and you could tell like throughout the series just how well Ewan portrayed that in his eyes and his body language. He just did such a great job.
Yeah, he's excellent. Gives him a character development path too, and I think that's the right call to have the character, even though it's 10 years later. If you don't fix your shit, it stays with you, and I think they just everybody involved, you and especially, did an amazing job with it.
So on the plus side, where he lives, he never has to worry about rush hour.
That, and he has a pretty good defense against sand people. Thank you. Get the hell out.
Like, yeah, thanks, you little prick. But I mean, considering where he's working, I mean, it's like, duh, of course I stink.
And riding home on a space camel.
I mean, he has to blame himself for everything, right? Like he has to feel like he failed the
Oh, he
Jedi
does.
Order.
Yeah, for sure. Even though I don't think that's the case, but he definitely does. Yeah, the parts where Obi-Wan talks to Leia about Padme in the series are awesome, Kitty.
They really are.
I think Tatooine they did a really good job with. Like Tatooine doesn't look cheap, it doesn't look fake, even though a lot of it was shot on a back lot. It's not hindered by, oh my god, this is stagecraft and there's no depth to anything.
Well, also helps that really all Tatooine is just a giant ball of dust. But like with that one scene right there, the use of the nighttime and the lighting and the shading, and it really did feel like they were, you know, back in Tunisia, like they did with the original trilogy.
There's a lot of people that look at that last scene we just watched there and go, Obi Wan would never, you know, turn him down help. It's like Obi Wan knows what his mission is to protect Luke, and that's above all else. But also, Obi Wan was absolutely willing to let Jar Jar Binks die in the Phantom Menace, and wasn't overly fond of the idea of Anakin coming aboard to begin with. And he was in a much better place in his life then.
This is true. And I will say that they did a really good job for the writing for young Leia, giving her that strong independent will from a young age that she had by the time we get to see her the first time in A New Hope.
Mm-hmm.
I know some people picked on the kid for the way she runs, but I think she's incredible in the series. Damn thief.
I mean, it is interesting to look at the different moral choices the Jedi that had to hide really ended up having to make. I mean, they even kind of showed it with Cal Kestis in the Jedi Survivor game, where just the stuff he had to do just to survive. So it's really interesting. You know, you paint the Jedi as this have this moral high ground that most people have a hard time living up to, and then after Order 66, they're hiding, they're stealing, they're lying, they're doing everything they were trained not to do, and just to survive.
I think I said this. Well, I didn't say this at the time. I didn't know he was there. You know, Qui-Gon is standing over his shoulder, just being like, "Punch him right now."
Probably. Joel Edgerton did a good job of reprising the role too, and just having the concerned father more so, even though he's just the uncle, but still,
yeah,
it's you could
the
see
appropriate familial bond.
But you can also see like that they took the character from A New Hope and they brought it back to this as well, which really shows through.
Yeah.
Gotta give Owen one thing. He's got balls.
I mean, I can only imagine how warm that probably felt being that close to his neck. So I'm impressed the pants are still dry. Though on a desert planet, it probably instantly dries due to lack of humidity.
Jesus, Kitty. You can't blame Anakin or yourself. I would have ordered 66 The Jedi 2 for Natalie Portman.
I don't think it would have worked out any better for you than it did Anakin. So we're what, about 3 years, 4 years away from the first time we see Bale and Andor?
Bale's not in season 1, right?
Yeah, but I can't remember when the time
So-
jump was in season 2. Because there was a couple of them, wasn't there?
Every single one of them's a time jump.
Yeah.
Uh,
Because like this was
we would
9
be
years?
6 years. 6 years before. This is 10 years before.
Okay.
Yeah, because you got to figure. If memory serves me correctly, we did see Bale in Rebels.
No, 5 years. It'd be 5 years.
Yeah, we saw
This is
Bale in
19
Rebels.
years.
Yeah.
Sorry, Randy, go ahead.
I was like, so I'm thinking. Remember, we saw Bale in Rebels, and we also saw a young Leia as she was still like in school, but she was still like ahead, part of the rebellion at the time. What she's maybe like 15 or 16.
She was definitely, yeah.
Like in Rebels when she first meets everybody.
What was I gonna say? Yeah, there's 19 years between Revenge of the Sith and New Hope, and this takes place 10 years after that, which means there's 9 years before A New Hope at this point. Boy, Obi Wan ages terribly in that time. But and Andor starts 5 years prior to A New Hope, but we meet Bale for the first time in Andor, I guess 6 years, yeah. Because he's not in the first, what is it, the first, yeah, basically 6 years. Why, where were you going with that?
No, nothing. I was just making the same, how fast he changed compared to Obi-Wan joke.
I'm so glad that, man, I forget the actor's name that played him in Andor now, but he did
Benjamin Bratt.
Yeah, he was fantastic. I mean, obviously Jimmy Smith is fantastic too, but like,
Yeah.
if you got to go to a plan B, then one hell of a plan B.
It was a lateral, not so much as a backward pass or a forward pass or anything. Huh? Oops. Well, she probably won't because he'll be dead. Although I guess she might get to boss him around a little when she's a junior sounder.
Probably. I do like the difference they showed between Bale and his wife in terms of their styles of parenting.
I mean, in their defense, I think Bale understands the DNA running through her veins a little better than his wife does.
Yeah, let's not piss her off.
Also, he knows it doesn't matter what I say. She's just going to do what she wants anyway.
Hey, you're not wrong.
I keep forgetting he was in this.
Flea.
I mean, in the roles he's had in movies, he's always been a lot of fun.
Yeah. I can't really think of anything he's ever been in that's like bad.
Give it away, give it away, give it away now. Oh, we just got copyright hit for me doing that. No, I'm kidding.
Are you really, though?
So you're
At
just
this
saying
rate,
give it
who
away.
knows?
That's just 3 words in the English language.
In a very specific tone and melody. I didn't go over 15 seconds.
Yeah, well, you're off key. It doesn't count.
Cold. Cold Kenobi. He did own a droid. He was keeping R2 buried in the sand this whole time. What, droid can't be in two places at once?
Let's be honest. It's more likely to be R4.
Yeah, let's be honest. No one was going to save Anakin at that point in time. So yeah, definitely get over it.
Yeah, that was a dude hell bent on saving his family to be, no matter what he had to do, and paid the ultimate price for it. Because dying would have been easier. Not cool, Flea. Not cool.
Flea, she's the child of a senator and a full-on princess. The fuck you mean no one's coming?
And you really don't want her biological father to show up.
Can you imagine if Vader realized he had kids out there and when they were at this age, what he would have done?
Oh, he probably would have got himself killed by the Emperor.
I think, and this is just me, like, you know, in the fanfic part of my brain, he knew. I think he knew the whole time. But that was sort of Anakin's last stand of the brain, keeping it, you know, from doing anything about it. Now, if he'd have known they were in genuine harm, then that might have been a real problem.
All these Jedi burying their lightsabers on Tatooine because why? Because no one's going to go there anyway. Why would anybody want to go to a dust ball for Jedi artifacts?
How many lightsabers do you think Sarlaccs have eaten over the years? Just accidentally.
Obi Wan Kenobi. Obi Wan.
It was a shockingly good Alec Guinness there.
I remember. I mean, I think I've seen that specific episode. It's probably like my fourth time. I've only seen the series all the way through twice, but that episode's a banger in terms of like placement and setting and feel and tone, and the visuals are acceptable, and you know, I'd give that episode honestly a solid 9 out of 10 in terms of an opener.
Yeah, I mean, now that I've got that, like I said from before, that whole thing with Jason Isaacs and Rupert Friend, I think now that I've gotten past that, I can agree with you on that. It was definitely an episode, a premiere that sucked you in, got you excited for what's to come, set some new some old/new characters because we'd never seen Leia as a kid before, and giving you a nice. A nice addition to the to her backstory as showing that she's always been independent, rebellious, and just headstrong, which is what you expect. You know, a lot of callbacks, which I thought was great. I always thought the T-16 Skyhopper was always a nice touch, since we saw Luke playing with it in A New Hope. So yeah, this all between the Easter eggs, the story, and just bringing the characters back. It resonates just as well with me as it did the first time.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing that stands out that like has taken away from this episode over time. It was good. It set, it did a good job establishing everything it needed to establish early on. In both the, Obi-Wan's sort of position in life and, establishing Leia as being Leia and acting the way you think that's like, yeah, that's exactly how Leia would have acted, and it does well. It gives you sort of that, like, your biggest sort of stunt casting in the whole episode was Flea, and he still stays true to himself. I mean, that's kind of the character he plays in everything. This character is really no different than the character he played in Back to the Future, if you really stop and think about it. Only now he's the one in control. There's no Biff, and it's fun, it's enjoyable. It sets up a good story. I enjoy it. I always did. And yeah, I mean, it's still as good. It still holds up as much. I don't know how I did rank it. Maybe like an 8 something. But it's fun. It's enjoyable. I haven't watched it since, but it's fun. I'm glad to be watching it now, not at 3:00 in the morning or something. And no, it's better. I mean, I did watch them the next day so that I actually remember them versus 3:00 brain. But this is the first time I've watched them since the original airing. But it's fun. It's enjoyable. I had a good time.
I think this episode, seeing the way it's laid out, you have Vader mentioned. He's very much, him and Anakin are part of the story in episode 1 here, but they're not physically in it. I know there's people that go, well, you can't do Obi Wan Kenobi season 2 if you don't have Vader in it, but I think this episode is proof that you can.
No, I agree. But also with a season 2, I feel like you could almost have it as a training arc for Obi-Wan, where he has to face his fears and face his guilt and finally accept his role and that everything wasn't his fault. I think you could easily get a good 6-episode series out of that, just that alone, because there would be so many flashbacks. There would be things with Vader in it that you didn't have to make Vader a huge component of it, because there's just so much that Obi-Wan still feels guilty over that you could do something with like that. I mean, that's the only thing I could think of at this point for a season 2 if they did it.
Yeah, you definitely don't need Vader. I mean, obviously, it would be, I don't want to say harder, but you would definitely need a more compelling story to not have him be a part of it, which isn't as easy. But just for me, I don't know what that story would be. Could they do one that I'd still find enjoyable? Absolutely. But, I always kind of went into this as a one and done. I never would have expected there to be more of it. So if it happens, great. Because, I mean, seeing you and put on the robe and do it again, I'd never say no to it. But, it's not something that I don't feel complete not having.
I know it's just visual stuff, but I still would it's nitpicky, but I would love to find out that something happens during Kenobi's training with Qui-Gon, like a battle gone wrong, or kind of like Luke using too much of the Force to protect himself, killed himself. Something to explain I look like this now, but I've aged 30 more years in the next 9.
I think that would have to be. That would have to be explained.
I feel like they could do something to be like, well, here's why he looks so damn old in A New Hope. He did X, Y, and Z.
I mean, yes, that is a route they could take. I personally don't really want them to. More so because, unless you can come up with a compelling reason for it, and I do mean that literally, it can't just be well, this happened, sort of side effect to something. I don't want it. It's, it's adding midichlorians in episode 1. It's an explanation to a thing I don't really need explained. It just you know, Bail Organa stopped looking like Jimmy Smits and looked like Benjamin Bratt for a few weeks, and then he went back to being Jimmy Smits again.
No, that's
No.
not the same. That's
But it
not even
is.
close to. No, it's not. Jimmy Smits and Benjamin Bratt not only look alike, even though if their stature isn't the exact same, they're similar age.
I feel like one of the easier ways to do it is to use the world between worlds, saying time flows differently there, while Qui-Gon trains him, helping him relive moments in his life that he feels like that he has to face over again. Since we've seen that in Rebels and Ahsoka, where there's portals and doorways that they can look upon different aspects, different scenes, different times, whatever's happening, you could easily sit there and be like, yeah, well, you could even liken it to the time chamber in Dragon Ball, where you're in there for a day, but you're technically in there for a year. So you could easily use the mysticism of the world between worlds to explain the aging.
Oh, so I see what you're saying is he went to Johnny's penthouse and didn't want to leave for 30 years, but when he left, only 9 years had actually passed.
Hey, clearly it must be a fun time.
Still haven't gotten my fucking invitation, so I wouldn't know.
It's a very elite club. What can I say?
I will say I believe that once Ahsoka season 2 drops, I think you're going to see a lot of once we finally get to the episodes that has Obi-Wan in it, you're going to see a lot of chatter about getting a season 2 going.
Yeah, I mean, I'd still take a movie too, right? Like if you had a compelling enough story to do a movie, I would be open to a movie. But that's just me.
Yeah, I mean, you could do a movie where basically Obi-Wan's nothing but essentially protecting Luke the entire time because someone gets whiffed that he's a Skywalker at a young age. Because we know in A New Hope, Luke does recognize him as Ben Kenobi, so he does know who he is. So it's one of those where when do they actually meet for the first time? And obviously, I think would be kind of neat is getting that live action rendition of Maul versus Obi-Wan, even though it was like maybe 30 seconds it was over, but it's
for me, that's the last thing I want.
I'm just saying it'd be interesting, maybe a flashback or just a memory while he's doing his training or something, because Disney loves their Easter eggs.
I mean, for me, I don't know. I mean, I think like it's all about what the story is and how compelling it is. I mean, I think in canon, do we not have the answer on the Luke and Ben relationship with the comic series? Wasn't it?
You guys are killing me here. Do you want me to answer this question or not? Be honest. Yeah, both of you are killing me right now.
Hey, I'm just throwing stuff out there.
All right. Well, you know what? It's on you guys for not remembering. It happens in the series during the last episode.
Well, he didn't introduce himself though, did he? Like I knew they met.
He sure did.
Okay, that
we
part
don't
I
hear
did
the
forget.
dialogue, but he comes up. And,
okay, that's why I don't remember. I do remember them interacting.
Exactly.
But I didn't remember any dialogue,
there.
so that's why.
He says hello there, and then we don't hear the rest of the conversation.
Okay, so that's probably why then. But I mean, even above that, they do interact in the comic, right?
Yes. Yeah.
The Black Kristen.
Man, that's a thing. I don't know if they interacted it though. But the point is, he would have known who he was from this. Like he's not saying hello there and leaving. He's like, hello there, I'm Ben, right? Like so.
Yeah.
That's the introduction. At
to
that
extent,
point,
he knew him as Old Ben the Hermit, basically in A New Hope, right? Like there wasn't really much to that relationship other than he's Old Ben and he lives in the caves.
Yeah,
he's just this old creepy dude that lives over here.
Why do you keep watching me through those fucking those I forget what they're called, but binoculars?
Well, I keep seeing you with the viewfinders. I don't actually remember what they're called. Either.
I have a name for Luke says them, and
He did it in the series. He did it in Rebels at the end of that episode. So we know he just constantly must be doing it daily, just showing up and be like, I see you, and then going about his business.
All right.
Apparently they're macro binoculars, according to Wikipedia.
Macro sounds proper. I don't remember them actually using the term binoculars, but maybe. That's going to do it for us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. That is episode 1 of Kenobi in the books. If you join us next Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, we will be watching episodes 2 and 3 right here and discussing them. Let's do that. We used to do a gimmick for each time we did one of these watch parties. Usually there were new ones. Here's our gimmick for this one. Favorite scene. Let's go. I'll give you guys a little bit to think about it, but I think I need time to think about it.
I don't actually need time to think about it.
Okay, go ahead.
It's easily Leia and Bail. On the veranda. Because it's you can see the emotion from Bail when she, calls into question her parentage. And, he goes through all
Johnny
that.
Johnny hates Obi-Wan, confirmed.
That has nothing to do with it. I just think that was the best scene in this episode. There are much, much better Obi-Wan scenes to come. Let's be honest. In this episode, he's just a broken down shell of a man. He doesn't really do much.
That's why they're great.
But there's nothing wrong with that. We got to see Bail's emotion and love for Leia, and we got to see that, older Princess Leia sort of shining through, and we got to see the wit of Bail, and just the emotion of that moment. Like that's why it's my favorite scene of the episode. There's nothing against any of the other things. It's just that one, gave you the most in the least.
We get it. You hate Obi-Wan. Yeah, it's a hell of an episode. Randy, can you think of one? I still haven't thought of mine, to be honest.
So I'm gonna say it's in the marketplace. Basically, Owen and Obi-Wan have had their discussion, and then obviously Reva and the fifth brother show up and basically interrogate Owen, and like the fear and the conflict you could see in the way Obi-Wan was in the shadows. Like, is he going to give me up? Is he not going to give me up? Am I going to have to try to save him? Can I still save? Like, you could see that in his facial expressions, in his body language. Without saying a word, you could see all of that just racing through his mind. And obviously, Owen with the balls of steel just kind of standing there like, yeah, fuck off. But yeah, ultimately, like that whole sequence, just combining that was definitely probably easily my favorite scene of the whole episode.
Yeah, that probably would have been a pretty easy one to pick too. That was up there for me. I'm gonna go with the Bail and Kenobi scene at the end there when he gets the pep talk to get off his ass and get back to it. That's probably my favorite one of the episode. There's a bunch of them that are really good. I think Ewan McGregor's performance in this episode is just fucking next level shit. But I also love the way they did the Revenge of the Sith. Well, not just Revenge of the Sith, Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith flashbacks. Actually, I think there was Jake Lloyd shown too, so I guess it would have been all 3 movies. So the way those flashbacks were done, the intensity of them, the extra zoom in, and the change in the filter to make it feel like it wasn't just taken from the movie. And then Kenobi's panic about it all, and him reaching out to Qui-Gon and not getting an answer. You know what? No, I've changed my mind. I've convinced myself that's my favorite scene. Bail and Kenobi is now the runner-up.
No, wait. This one scene is my favorite scene now. Yeah, trust me, I get it. It's a great episode overall, and it's really hard to pick really one definitive scene that's absolutely amazing. There's so many good scenes overall. But yeah, the whole PTSD moment of everything that Obi-Wan's been through, especially with the prequel trilogy, yeah, that has to hit hard for a lot of people.
It's terrible. He's going through all this trauma and, everything that, was taken from him. And, without really doing anything wrong to deserve it. He loses a bunch of shit, and then he has to bargain for it back from Tika, that bastard. Uh, so, no,
Damn Jawas.
it's a really good episode. Like I said, I would have given it a 9 out of 10. But yeah, the favorite scene thing is going to be a pain in the ass now. That's going to be difficult. So, and it's going to be hard too when, like, for example, in the finale, we get Kenobi versus Vader Part 2. And like, it'd be easy to say, well, that whole thing, but I think you should be breaking it down into specific sections, like, because it's not all one scene; it's all cut up, and there's multiple instances of stuff like that during this show. So, I think the favorite scene thing was a bad idea, Sean, but we'll go through it with it anyway. That's gonna do it for us, Randy. Where can everybody find you, man?
Over on X at Gady Isles, and tomorrow night, my friends and I will be recording the next episode of Sports Brew. If you like sports, bullshit, drinking, and just having a good old time, just Google Sports Brew and you'll find it no problem.
Okay, I got to get something off my chest here. You know, you do the sports podcast.
Yeah.
I don't get the hype behind Kyle Tucker. I don't. I can't say I've watched a bunch of them, so it's not. I can't go off the eye test. I got to go off numbers, and I'm looking at his numbers, and I'm going, he's good, but like, none of his numbers look particularly great. Like, I was comparing his numbers to other guys on the Blue Jays roster today. I'm like, fuck, I'd take 5 or 6 of the guys on the team over him. And yet everyone's talking like he's going to get paid the most. And, I mean, I guess supply and demand, too, is a thing. But the way the media talks about him, you think he's the next best thing and not some 20 home run, 70 RBI guy.
Well, it's one of those things where it depends on, I guess, how the team views him, or if they feel that maybe there's more to it than just numbers that makes him special, and maybe that's kind of where it is.
Yeah, I don't know anything about his defense. You know, he could be plus defense. I don't know, but just
could be a good locker room guy. You know, like one of those guys that you would just lean on. You know, get pepped up and. You never know, because a lot of the times we don't know what happens behind closed doors, and just be one of those things. It's just that extra intangible that a lot of people don't think about sometimes.
Well, I'm sure you guys will cover a little bit of MLB free agency as people sign, but who knows when that'll begin. MLB's a weird beast that way. Most other sports, you get people signing left and right already, so... that is going to do it for us, Johnny. Let me guess, here, there, and everywhere?
Correct.
Wrong! You can find Johnny at his glorious penthouse. Sometimes
invitation only. I'm sorry.
Sometimes
you set yourself up for that one.
And then sometimes he'll just be sending in his scores, but we'll have Johnny's penthouse on every episode of House of the Empire moving forward.
Penthouse is invitation only. I'm sorry.
And let me tell you, the Penthouse has some fantastic fitting music that I'm looking forward to debuting.
Not yet?
On Monday during our Revenge of the Sith Flixbusters thing to end the program. So, and speaking of which, good time to advertise. Monday, November the 17th, the 10-year reunion show for Star Wars Wastelands. And let me tell you, been doing my homework. I don't know if I'm going to be able to clip stuff because this program's limited with how many clips you can load in. You basically have room for 5 clips on the whole program. And I don't mean per episode, I mean period. So you'd have to permanently delete something or temporarily delete something and then re-upload it afterwards. A pain in the ass. But I listened to an old episode of Star Wars Wastelands today, and I didn't know what one it was. I just figured, whatever, I'm doing stuff, I'll put it on the background. And it begins with Johnny's actually hosting that episode. Jake Damon is there, and you make this crack about like Republicans, but you meant it in like a Star Wars term, and he took it as if you meant it as a real life political term. And he goes on a little bit of this tangent, and then you start to explain to him what you actually meant. And the shock in his voice of, oh my god, I'm a fucking idiot, was quite funny.
I can't say I remember that.
I'll have to link you to it.
The description of it, though, sounds very accurate to something that would have happened, though.
It's like, dude, they live in the Republic. I mean, that's...
You want to feel really old is the episodes from like 9 years ago, and Mondo makes a comment shortly after that. You introduced him. You introduce him, and Mondo's only response, and this is odd for Mondo, is to go, "Sup," and you're like, "Is that it?" And Mondo's like, "Fuck no! How long have you known me? How long have you known me 9 years ago? Oh God!" So, we're in for a whale of a time Monday night. Star Wars Wastelands
I can
reunion
just figure
show.
it now. The most Mondo thing possible is he's just going to come on and just be perfectly normal long enough that it's going to make Randy be like, "This is it. This is what you guys were talking," and then he'll take the cover off.
And we'll randomly get to a fucking segment, and Mondo goes to talk, but it's not Mondo's voice; it's a little Mondo's voice.
No,
like, here we go. He's a character. That is
not a character I've thought about in a very long time.
And I have confirmation today on almost everybody. There will be the three of us. Tommy B will be in attendance, and he has also been added to the trivia match. So it will be Randy versus me versus Zach versus Tommy B versus Ben in a 5-way elimination.
I'm sorry, Tommy willingly agreed to come on for trivia?
He did, yes.
Good luck, Johnny.
Him? Why am I getting him? I'm trivia master. I don't care.
That's what I'm saying. Good luck. You're gonna have to wrangle that bag of cats for sure. Holy shit.
Y'all are just making it harder for yourselves now. More people means more questions means harder questions.
Yeah. Just reasonable ones. We don't need it like that one time where no one could answer anything because it was.
Well, in my defense, we were doing it how frequently back then?
How many centimeters was Vader's mask offset by in A New Hope?
Yeah, I never asked a question like
Vader
that.
Still have a penis in the original trilogy.
Why did I ask that? That would have been a Mondo question. Let's be real.
I remember the first time I pulled out, what is my favorite something character in what video game? And they were like, okay, what's the real question? I'm like, no, that's the question, because we were running out of questions. Oh man, those were the days, but these are great days too. And if it wasn't for House of the Empire, we wouldn't be able to do our little Star Wars Wastelands 10-year reunion show next week. Looking forward to it. It's going to be a ton of fun. As I was saying, there's myself, Randy, Johnny, Mondo, Zach, Ben. Ty Nelson's gonna drop by for a segment. Ty's on with when we're talking about the 50-year anniversary, which is Starfighter and other things that could come out that year. Ben is, I think Ben's just trivia and some normal banter to begin with, and then trivia is the 5, as I mentioned, and then let me see if I can multitask here. The only person we were waiting on was Ian, and Ian lives in Korea, so the time zone.
Have you figured out which one yet? Last time you discussed this, you weren't sure which one it was.
Well, we know it can only be one. I just can never remember which
that's
one.
The thing. You couldn't figure out which one.
Yeah, well, I've spent precisely 0 time trying to figure it out. So, if actually, I wouldn't want to get him in trouble for saying anything he shouldn't say, but
it's the South. He's in South Korea. That's the good one.
If Ian appears, it will only be, the plan is for a 10-minute recording. It would not be live, and it would play to allow all of us to take off and go use the bathroom and grab a drink and refresh. And so we're trying to get as many old faces on as we can. As much as we'd love to have one of those old, real long 4.5 hour marathon streams, we're pretty tightly.
We're 10
fit
years
into
older
the-
now, damn it. We can't do that anymore.
Yes, and it is a special start time next week. It will be 8:30 p.m. Eastern on Monday, and we run through to about 11:30. So, yeah, Monday, Star Wars Wastelands reunion. Looking forward to it. Going to be a ton of fun. But until then, take care. Ciao. Bon voyage. Welcome.